Sunday, number 25, Arizona State, and the Washington State Cougars from Beasley Coliseum. Along with Corey Williams, Roxy Bernstein with you in a pivotal ball game, especially for Arizona State. The Devils come in at 16-6 with just 4-6 in conference play. As Washington State trying to snap a 4-game slide, the Cougars are 1-8 in the Pac-12 and 9-12 overall on the season. So a critical game for Arizona State here in the Palouse. Shannon Evans for ASU. One of the three senior guards, the lob over the top to Romello White, and ASU strikes first just about 20 seconds in.
ASU's always got the threat of that outside shot, but nice to see them hit the roll, get the inside game established early.
These are two of the better three-point shooting teams in America. Robert Franks for Washington State. Milan Aqua on the drive. Jeff Pollard making the start for Ernie Kent today. As a turnover committed by Washington State as the Cougs come up empty on their first possession. So Jeff Pollard making the start here for the Cougars, a sophomore from Bountiful, Utah, just his third start of the season. He's getting the nod in place of Drick Bernstein, the grad transfer from North Dakota, who will come off the bench for Washington State. Trey Holder in the lane, drops it off to Romello White, and stolen by Malachi Flynn, who lost it right back to White. Shannon Evans on the drive. Romello White fouled on a putback.
Right now, Sun Devils having their way in the paint in terms of Romello White getting some touches, going to the rim strong. He'll get some free throws, and that's what they want. They want that balanced attack. We know the guards can shoot the threes, but their interior game's been lacking a little bit in conference play.
Foul on Malachi Flynn. Romello White, just a 58% foul shooter, shooting two. The redshirt freshman from Sewanee, Georgia, sat out last year to focus and concentrate on his academics, and has had a really nice season. He's 8th in the Pac-12 in rebound. Makes it 3-0 ASU. So the Cougs coming off a loss at the hands of Arizona here on Wednesday. Malachi Flynn back in the starting lineup after coming off the bench for the first time in his Washington State career against the Wildcats on Wednesday. He made 51 consecutive starts to begin his Wazoo career. The stutter step, pull up, deep shot, no good. And the rebound knocked free and picked up by Shannon Evans. Here comes ASU. Tally Scheibel from the corner, missing a three, and then a foul on Romello White of Arizona State going over the back. Cougs still looking to get on the board.
And they've done a good job of moving the ball around. The first time they overpassed, and that last possession they ended up with a good shot, but they've been working late into the possession. They got to start to get a couple of buckets here.
Here's Robert Franks. He'll fire for D. And Robert Franks a three. One of the most improved players, not just in the Pac-12, but America, when you look at the numbers that Franks is putting up.
He has come out of nowhere. That was not part of his game that he was allowed to show last year. But right now, shoots that three off the dribble with confidence.
Franks a 44% three-point shooter as Cody Justice misses everything for the Sun Devils. Malachi Flynn. Here's Milan Aqua to Flynn for three. Cougs have the lead.
And that's a welcome sight for Malachi Flynn. He struggled from the perimeter the last couple of nights out.
Step back from Shannon Evans. We welcome those of you just joining us to Pullman, along with Corey Williams, Roxy Bernstein with you. Pac-12 hoops for you on this Super Bowl Sunday. It's Jeff Pollard inside for Washington State, and the Cougs out to an 8-5 lead on ASU. Jeff Pollard making the start in place of Drick Bernstein today for Washington State.
strategy with Ernie Kent. You know what Bernstein's going to bring to the game, maybe keeping him fresh because he's going to be counted on. And right there, Pollard giving you some quality minutes in the paint.
Foul going over the back on Vitaly Scheibel, the redshirt freshman for ASU. Number 25, Arizona State, trying to bounce back after losing in Seattle to Washington on Thursday in a tight ball game to the Huskies, who of course had the big win last night over Arizona in Seattle. But for Arizona State, the Sun Devils are just 4-6 in conference play after they began the year 12-0. They were the last remaining unbeaten team in college basketball until losing their conference opener in Tucson. Rebound cleared by Trey Holder as Remy Martin checks in, the freshman for Arizona State. Here's Romello White. Goes middle, the kick to Vitaly Scheibel, open three, and the rebound, Malachi Flynn. Here come the Cougars.
Good possession right there by the Sun Devils. They got the inside-outside touch.
Flynn way off of the pull-up cleared. Remy Martin looks to push. Martin in transition to the basket, blocked by Robert Franks.
They call him Robo. Nice play right there by the big man to time that perfectly.
Two of the best three-point shooting teams in America looking to go inside here in the early going. Washington State 9-12 overall, just 1-8 in the conference, trying to break a 4-game slide here against Arizona State. Milan Aqua blocked by Vitaly Scheibel out of bounds, and it belongs to Washington State. The Cougs, the early lead over Arizona State on this Super Bowl Sunday in Pullman.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Sam Adams. Fill your glass. And the Volkswagen Tiguan, the not-so-compact SUV.
You're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN on this Super Bowl Sunday from Pullman, Washington, along with former Arizona standout Corey Williams. Roxy Bernstein with you. And Arizona State, Corey, a team that began the year 12-0, their last remaining unbeaten team in college basketball. They've struggled in league play. A big difference in the numbers when you look at ASU, league play as opposed to the non-conference.
They certainly hit a bit of a rough patch. This is a team that is currently 9th in conference play. They're still a tournament team, but that window for making errors is definitely getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, the margin for error is a little razor thin right now for Arizona State. And the numbers they averaged, Bobby Hurley's team averaged nearly 92 points per game before they got into the conference. And in Pac-12, they're averaging less than 77. They were 12-0, they're now 16-6 as Milan Aqua the miss. Remy Martin on the push, clears it for ASU.
And one of the things I find interesting about ASU is in single-digit conference games, they're 3-6. They're losing the close games because they can't finish. They let a game get away from them in Seattle against Washington Huskies where they had a chance to win. They've got to close out.
Nice pass from Shannon Evans to Romello White. And it seems there's an effort from Arizona State and Bobby Hurley, Corey, to get the ball, get touches for Romello White.
The rule generally is that your jump shot isn't as dependable on the road. So you want to start off on the road, going to the paint, like you see Trey Holder coast to coast.
The runner from Holder, and ASU takes the lead. First points for Trey Holder, the senior from LA, who's 4th in the Pac-12 in scoring at 19 points a game. Jeff Pollard making his 3rd start of the year. Malachi Flynn knocked away by Mickey Mitchell, but there's a foul called against Remy Martin of Arizona State. Bobby Hurley clearly doesn't agree.
Foul is on Remy Martin, number 1.
I know it's a rare occurrence for Bobby Hurley to react that way.
As a player or as a coach, his intensity is amazing. What he's been able to do in these brief seasons with the Arizona State basketball program has been tremendous. He's got them rocking in Tempe. That rivalry with Arizona is at an all-time high, but cannot question his intensity on the sidelines.
Deontay Daniels off the inbound for Wazoo. First points for the junior from Federal Way, Washington. As Washington State reclaims the lead. For the Cougars, Carter Skaggs, the top 3-point shooter in the Pac-12, checks in. Also, Drick Bernstein, the grad transfer from North Dakota, is a foul in the drive as Shannon Evans, before the shot, was fouled. And it's on Bernstein of Washington State. A look at Ernie Kent. In his 4th year here in the Palouse, 13 outstanding years at his alma mater, Oregon, took the Ducks to a couple of Elite Eights.
And he's another great story in terms of what he's been able to do. And the record may not tell the whole story, as the Cougars aren't at the top of the Pac-12 right now, but the #1 3-point shooting team in the country, that is absolutely amazing.
Shannon Evans missing the 3, and Robert Franks clears. After Washington State began the year 6-0, and they won the Wooden Legacy down in Fullerton as Carter Skaggs let fly, Robert Franks the offensive rebound. Deontay Daniels lines it up. 3.
There you see exactly what we're talking about. The Cougs go 50% from downtown on one possession. Great offensive rebound, and they shoot it like no other team in college basketball.
Washington State, who began the year 6-0, they've lost 12 of their last 15. And they have some great wins at the Wooden Legacy, which you were calling down in Fullerton. Corey, as they knocked off St. Mary's and San Diego State en route to the titles down to the Wooden Legacy.
Games where there was no pressure, but they stepped up defensively, and they looked at that tournament as a statement opportunity. The whole season was laid out before them, and they came out hard with some good wins in Anaheim.
It was the best start for Washington State since Klay Thompson was here in 2009, 2010, but they've lost 8 of their last 9 games. And they're just 1-8 in the conference.
We're looking at 2 teams that need to reclaim a little bit of that rhythm they had to start the season.
Drick Bernstein puts Washington State up 6. Largest lead for the Cougars. Devils struggling, just 4 of 12 from the field. They've missed all 5 threes as Mickey Mitchell makes it 0 of 6 outside the arc. And the Cougars on a 7-0 run.
Excuse me, and the hesitation was the problem there. Mitchell's had the 3, he passed on it and took a worse shot.
Nice pass by Skaggs to Franks. 9 straight for Washington State.
A balanced attack, and then you see the steal. Arizona State sleepwalking a little bit.
Malachi Flynn missing the 3. Senior leader for this ASU team, Trey Holder. Inside, Romello White. Through the double team to Mickey Mitchell. The tip by Romello White, who has 7 already for the Sun Devils. (17-11). And Malachi Flynn losing it. Cody Justice leads Remy Martin. Martin to the basket, left a scoop short, and the follow by the Ohio State transfer, Mickey Mitchell.
Right now, Arizona State making a living in the paint. The 3 ball hasn't been there for them, but they've been getting great play out of their bigs.
And this is a perimeter-oriented team, but we're seeing them go inside.
I think after a certain while, you have to play the percentages. Let your big men create your offense.
Foul off the ball, the second on Remy Martin. Washington State, a 4-point lead over Bobby Hurley and number 25, ASU. Well, this was last night across the state over in Seattle, the waning seconds. Jalen Noel, shot blocked by DeAndre Ayton right to Dominic Green. And the buzzer beater, the game-winning 3, giving the Huskies the upset of number 9, Arizona. 78-75, and a huge signature win for Mike Hopkins. So you look at the scores from around the Conference of Champions yesterday. How about UCLA's win over USC?
Big win in the crosstown rivalry right there. USC had a chance to gain some ground on Arizona, but they couldn't get it done at Pauley. But that Washington upset, tremendous game. They hung into the last second. And as a player, I just got to be like, wow, what an emotional roller coaster. You make a game-saving block, and then a game-ending 3.
And a great second-half comeback by Arizona. Here's a look at the Pac-12 standings, and the Trojans will be in Tucson next week in a game here on ESPN. As Arizona leads USC by a game, and Washington now, a game and a half back. And Mike Hopkins and the Huskies, right now, you look at what Joe Lunardi has projected, in Washington in a very good spot for the NCAA tournament. Stanford with a tremendous performance. Jared Haas's team clobbered Oregon yesterday, as Robert Franks will head to the line, fouling Mickey Mitchell of ASU. And then Cal yesterday broke a 9-game losing streak.
A lot of winners yesterday, and we talked about Stanford, the way they handled Oregon and the way they've been playing over the last 3 weekends. You've got to consider Stanford is for real just as well, and they're just a couple games behind everybody else.
Robert Franks at the line, 88%. Third in the conference in foul shooting. As a junior from Vancouver, Washington, which is down near Portland. 6th in the Pac-12 in scoring, and Franks leads Wazoo with 7, and the Cougars lead is 6.
Right now, Washington State is doing a great job in the ball screen. They're hitting the roll, and they're either getting layups or they're getting their big men to the free throw line, and that's what's going to open up the three-point shot for them.
The teardrop, the high arcing floater from Cody Justice. Quickly, the Devils get back on defense as Rick Bernstein challenged at the rim, and Arizona State on the counter. Shannon Evans, 3 for Evans, and a quick 5-0 spurt to pull within 1.
That's the tempo the Sun Devils want right there. The defensive stop, pass, and a good shot.
Quan Lake in for Arizona State, the junior from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Also checking in freshman Kamani Lawrence. Deontay Daniels a corner 3, his second 3.
Nice cross-court pass. We talked about this earlier. Both teams completely comfortable with the quick three-point shot.
Good up-tempo style to this Pac-12 matchup in Pullman. 4 of 8 from 3 for Washington State as DeQuan Lake inside. As Lake leads the Pac-12 in field goal percentage, he's a 70% shooter from the field. Robert Franks off the feed from Rick Bernstein, rattles home.
That is such tough offense to stop when you've got 2 bigs that can dribble and pass the big-to-big pick and roll.
And the luxury that Ernie Kent has with Rick Bernstein, who can create from the 4 spot, as Shannon Evans buries another 3. He leads the conference, making nearly 3 threes per game, and it's Wazoo by 1. Team starting to get into a flow and heating up offensively. Robert Franks inside again. Bernstein to Franks.
Beautiful set play. Decoy bringing the shooter to the top, and Franks slipped the screen. Great pass by Bernstein.
Lonnie Lawrence throws it away. Belongs to Washington State.
When you're a threat to shoot the ball, you want to use your big man and hold on to the ball till he's into position. And there you see a nice pick and roll right there. And at the other end, big to big, same deal. Set the screen and then slip to the ball. Great ball movement, unselfish play by both teams early.
Approaching 8 minutes to go, first half. Deflected out, it stays with Washington State, 14 to shoot. Washington State leading it by 3. At home against number 25, Arizona State. Pac-12 hoops on this Sunday. You're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN in Pullman on Super Bowl Sunday, where Washington State leads number 25, Arizona State 26-23. Big Monday matchup tomorrow as a Sonic blockbuster as number 15 West Virginia battles freshman sensation Trae Young and number 12 Oklahoma. The Big 12 matchup tips at 9 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. You're on the go. Big Monday presented by Joseph A. Bank. The Trae Young averaging over 30 points per game. And the NBA superstars tweeting about Trae Young. How about former Utah standout Kyle Kuzma?
I think Kuzma's dead on. There's not a lot of guys in college basketball, any guys that are doing it like Trae Young is doing it right now.
Shot clock violation is the shot thrown up by Malachi Flynn right before the shot clock expired. An air ball. It goes over to ASU. Washington State is led by as many as 8 already in this game. A hot hand for Shannon Evans. Kamani Lawrence open for a corner three is way off. Milan Aqua takes it out of the air. Carter Skaggs thought about it. Flynn will fire. And the rebound, Kamani Lawrence, and here comes ASU. Mello White poked away by Drick Bernstein. Bernstein leads the break. Skaggs well behind the line. You can't let him have a look.
Roxy, he was shooting that ball before it even got to him. He had made the decision. He hadn't had a look, and that was from downtown.
Top three-point shooter in the Pac-12, 46%. Shannon Evans answers for the Sun Devils. Third three for Evans, who has 11. Robert Franks with 11 to lead Washington State.
And what's great about Shannon Evans' game is that he sets you up with the penetration. You know he can blow by you for the layup, and then he pulls out of the penetration, drops back for the three. It's just really one of those things you just can't stop.
Poked away and stolen by Evans and a reach-in on Milan Aqua.
Right here, Skaggs is the release guy. He's supposed to swing the ball and reverse it. He's like, nah, I'm going to dial up from downtown, nothing but net. And then this is just playground. When you fake the penetration like you're going to the rack, slam on the brakes, and fade away three from dead away out top, that's a beautiful play.
Trey Holder ties the game for Arizona State.
And just like that, the Sun Devils, with a flick of the wrist, right back in this game with those sharp shooting guards.
4 threes for the Sun Devils. Cougs have hit 5 already. And a tie game inside 6 minutes to go. First half is two of the better three-point shooting teams in America. Arizona State, 38%, while Washington State, the Cougars make 11.5 threes a game, which is 4th most in the country. They've made 12-plus threes in 13 of their 21 games this year. A steal for Shannon Evans. Races to the basket. Lays it in, and ASU has the lead.
Sloppy play right there by the Cougars. They had some options and opportunities. They just overpassed the ball. Great anticipation by Evans.
8 straight for the Sun Devils. Shannon Evans with 13. Jeff Pollard traveled.
Right here, Shannon Evans, he's weak side defense, but he sees this play coming and he shoots the passing lane, and that's an easy 2 just for being aware, paying attention to the scouting report, and being aggressive.
Arizona State has made 6 of their last 7 shots, and this 8-0 run over a minute 10, fueled by Shannon Evans.
I like the pace Arizona State is playing with. They established the inside game, then they went to their threes, and now they're playing with that tempo they've been known for all season.
First lead for Arizona State since it was 9-8, as Malachi Flynn forcing a turnover, then Carter Skaggs stepped on the sideline. And they give it right back to the Sun Devils. ASU trying to salvage a road split here in the Evergreen State. They're losing on Thursday in Seattle. Trying to get a win here in Pullman as Shannon Evans will head to the line, and it's on Robert Franks.
Right now, Shannon Evans has taken complete control of this game for Arizona State. Between his open court play, his jump shots, and right there, taking it hard to the rim, making sure that this game didn't get out of hand early.
85% foul shooter. Evans already has been Pac-12 Player of the Week once this season. And he makes the most threes per game in the Pac-12. Last 7 games have started to heat up again. He went through a cold spell, but the last 7 games he's at better than 50% from 3.
Right now, it's the Cougars who need to settle in. 4 turnovers on their last 5 possessions. They need a good, clean look.
Arizona State has their largest lead. Bernstein looking to create. Shot clock inside 10. Deontay Daniels open. 3.
Deontay Daniels has been knocking those down for the Cougs this half, an unlikely source of offense.
Third 3 for Daniels. The Cougars 6 of 12 from 3. Rebound tip free. Right in the hands of Daniels. Leads a 4-on-1. Skaggs open. Missed the 3. Hustling is Cody Justice. Four and 1, and Skaggs launching a 3 as Holder missing that one. Here comes Robert Franks. 3-on-2. Daniels on the baseline. 1-point game. Deontay Daniels with 13 to lead Washington State.
Deontay Daniels getting it done from the Cougars long distance. They're finding him 3 of 3 from downtown. And right here, just a nice floater pull-up. It's all Daniels. The Cougars back in this one.
Monday, it's Press Virginia against the Super Frosh.
We're being treated to an epic season by Trae Young.
This is a blockbuster-sized rematch. West Virginia, Oklahoma, Monday at 9 on ESPN.
Can't wait for that one between West Virginia and Oklahoma. This is what Bob Huggins had to say already after the first meeting with the Sooners about Trae Young, and the high praise that he's had the most impact from the point guard position at the college level since Jason Kidd, a guy you played against.
Well, I respect Coach Huggins, and I'd have to agree 100%. When you have a guard that you have to draw up schemes for and try to stop, the scoring is obvious, but what he does is he gets his teammates involved as well. You're really at his mercy. When Trae Young crosses half court, he can shoot it, he can come off the ball screen. He does so much. He's a nightmare for coaches to prepare for.
And you know, that quote catches my eye because Jay Kidd's my guy.
Yeah, well, Jason Kidd was on another level as well. Played with him. The way he dominated the game was on the defensive end. His assists were off the charts, his knowledge of the game, and he had an NBA body. Where if you were to make a knock on Trae Young, some may question his size slightly, but Jason Kidd was ready for the NBA in high school.
Cody Justice. Deep 3, Shannon Evans. Rattles out, Romello White the offensive rebound. The kick to Justice. Spins out on the 3, and the rebound Jeff Pollard for Wazoo.
They've got the mismatch, Franks against Evans if they can find it.
They get it inside to Robo Franks.
Good patience, ball movement, recognizing it. Malachi Flynn saying, calm down, big fella. We see you. We'll get it to you.
6 straight for the Cougs. After Arizona State took a 4-point lead. Trae Holder weaves his way inside. Mickey Mitchell can't get the tip. Carter Skaggs clears for Washington State. Malachi Flynn turns the corner. Carter Skaggs has a look. And the rebound, Mickey Mitchell. Fun first half in Pullman as Evans splits a double team. Trae Holder moves in. Romello White keeps it alive. Evans wide open. Missed that one. You're almost stunned when he misses a look like that.
Yeah, great ball movement there, and you look at the great effort by Romello White on the glass to try to keep it alive. Sun Devils had some really great looks on that possession, but Cougars hold them off.
Arizona State has missed their last 7 shots. Mickey Mitchell comes up the loose ball, and a smart foul by Washington State to prevent a fast break opportunity. As although it's the second on Robert Franks, but he prevented what would have been an transition opportunity for the Sun Devils.
Extremely smart foul right there by Franks as Skaggs went to his crossover game, and that's really not his forte. Lost the ball, and Franks prevented an easy layup and gives the Cougars a chance to get set defensively.
Running the weave out front. Here's Holder trying to create. Gets inside. Pretty move and finish by Trey Holder. 1 point lead for the Cougs, a minute to go first half. And Ernie Kent will use that use it or lose it timeout here. 1 point game, a tight one in the Palouse between these Pac-12 foes. Cougs up one on Arizona State, the 25th ranked Sun Devils, who have made only 4 of their 15 threes, struggling right now shooting the ball, but down just 1. Along with Corey Williams and a great ESPN crew here on Super Bowl Sunday. Roxy Bernstein and Pullman, a steal. Shannon Evans ahead. Trey Holder draws a foul on Drick Bernstein. Second on Bernstein. And a couple of free throws for Trey Holder and ASU. Senior from LA, 7 points for Holder. Looking to attack and get to the line.
It's all about risk taking right here. Shannon Evans leaves his man, pokes his hand in and gets the ball. And it's all about risk and reward right there. When you leave your man, you better make a play. That's the second time he's come up big for the Sun Devils.
Arizona State by 1. Knocked away by Holder, out of bounds, Wazoo ball. No, they're giving it to ASU. So 1 point lead for Arizona State. 11-second differential between the shot clock and the half clock. And look at this stat on ASU. They've led at the half in only 2 of their 10 Pac-12 games. They won when they trailed at the half at Cal, but lost in Boulder to Colorado. Mickey Mitchell, a 3 for Mitchell. Just his 5th of the season.
And you gotta let him have that till he makes one. He obviously can shoot the ball. Bernstein caught a little bit off guard with that 3.
7 straight. This Bernstein was caught off guard with that 3 also. Cougs playing for the final shot here. Malachi Flynn to Beyonce Daniels. Jeff Pollard the offensive rebound. Pollard misses, one more try. Pollard right before the horn.
Credit Pollard with some tough play on the interior. Nice second effort for the Cougars as they're hanging tough with the Sun Devils. You see the shot as time is winding down. Not one effort in a crowd of shirts. 2 efforts. It gives the Cougars the lift right before halftime.
So for just the 3rd time in conference play, Arizona State leads at the half, clinging to a 2-point lead in Pullman over Washington State. 15 from Shannon Evans to lead all scorers. For ASU, 13 each for Robert Franks and Beyonce Daniels for Washington State. Coming up next on our ESPNU halftime report, Jay Will sits down with Trae Young. It's number 25, ASU by 2. You're watching the Pac-12 on ESPN on the campus of Washington State University in Pullman, Washington. Getting ready for the start of the second half. Number 25, Arizona State leading Washington State 40-38. Along with Corey Williams, Roxy Bernstein with you from Beasley Coliseum. And for the Cougars, Robert Franks, Beyonce Daniels, really good in the first half. They need to have a 3rd scorer, at least somebody else show up to the party.
Well, you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But a good big man guard combo to start the half. But you're right, they need to try to add another scorer. Malachi Flynn's a guy who can get buckets. Bernstein can score at a high rate. They need a little more offensive production for this second half.
So somebody else has to bring the stuff to the Super Bowl party. All right, Robert Franks is bringing the chips.
He brought the television. Without him, there's no game.
Okay, Beyonce Daniels then brings
He's chips and
the
salsa.
pizzas.
He's pizza, chips and salsa.
Somebody's got to bring the chips and salsa, the guacamole.
Drinks. Gotta have it. But once again, Arizona State struggles in single-digit conference games. Can the Cougars keep this tight and try to get a win down the stretch? As we know, Arizona State has struggled down the stretch.
Well, the Cougars television might be losing some reception on the Super Bowl because Robert Franks just picked up his third foul 10 seconds into the second half.
And that is not a good sign right there. They get the mismatch. He gets a little too excited. Great defensive play by Shannon Evans. Take the contact, fall to the ground. And now it's decision time for Ernie Kent and the Cougars. Do you leave him out there?
What would you do?
With their conference record, you leave him out there. You're at home. It's a tight game. Let him play. I'm not going to say what do you have to lose, but right now you've got to teach him how to play with 3 fouls. It can be done. That's why you get 5 of them.
And Shannon Evans doing everything for Arizona State in this game, and actually now having a laugh with Ernie Kent as he's heading up the floor. But there's Shannon Evans drawing the charge and picking up the third foul on Franks, who's guarding Evans.
A little Hollywood acting right there by Evans to draw that foul.
Inside to Romello White, which has been a point of emphasis for Bobby Hurley today.
And this recipe has worked well for Arizona State, the balanced attack. We know you've got great shooters. Don't ignore the big men. Get them involved.
9 for Romello White. Milan Aqua to Jeff Pollard, missed the layup. Vitaly Scheibel clears. Here comes ASU.
Well, you got to have that. That was a brilliant move. No finish right there.
Here's a touch for Romello White. Romello White to scoop, and it's the largest lead of the game for Arizona State.
And Romello White will get anything he wants on that block as long as Franks has 3 fouls.
Coming off a 10-point, 14-rebound performance in Seattle on Thursday night. Shot clock inside 10 for Flynn. Malachi Flynn, tough step back 3, well defended by Cody Justice, but then out of bounds off the Sun Devils, it stays with Washington State.
Right here, you're going to see what we're talking about with on the block with Franks. Defensively, he gets his hands up, and that's just a great move by White, but there's not going to be any help coming with those shooters. One-on-one advantage White in the post.
Drick Bernstein comes back in, coming off the bench for Ernie Kent today, as he had started the last 18 games for the Cougars.
Roxy, you shine every time we're together, but Bernstein has to shine right now. They need his productivity in the paint, and they need him defensively.
Rattles out for Beyonce Daniels, and Cody Justice with the rebound. Speaking of the shine, how about the gold shoes for Malachi Flynn today?
That's a statement right there. You got to have a big-time game. You come out in the gold slippers.
Big-time move by Trey Holder. And a timeout for Washington State as ASU on a 6-0 run to start the second half. Bobby Hurley's team, their largest lead of the day. Just over 2 minutes into the second half, and the Devils trying to assert themselves.
Well, they're so tough when they have a lead with the scoring, the way they can score the ball, but they've come out and been strictly about business here in the second half. Sun Devils up.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Pedigree, Feed the Good, and Sam Adams. Fill your glass.
13-2 run for the Sun Devils dating back to the first half, up 8 in Pullman. Super Tuesday presented by Boost Mobile. A big one in the SEC at 7 Eastern between number 18 Tennessee and number 21 Kentucky at Rupp Arena. The number 5 Michigan State battles Iowa at Carver Hawkeye Arena. In the Big Ten, both of these rivalry week games presented by Wendy's on ESPN and the ESPN app. Tennessee and Kentucky. How about former Cal coach Conzo Martin getting a milestone win recently, and then knocked off Kentucky yesterday?
Very impressive. Yeah, a young Mizzou squad, aggressive, got a lead, held on to it without their best player, obviously.
The pull-up from Flynn, and Malachi Flynn ends the drought for Washington State. First points of the second half.
Malachi Flynn really needs to get started. He's a special player, can score, can lead the team, organize, make assists, but he needs to make more one-on-one buckets like that.
Cody Justice knocks it down. 9-point Arizona State lead.
What was impressive right there, Roxy, both coaches with nice offensive plays out of the timeout. Good execution by both teams, resulting in buckets.
Malachi Flynn recovers, then a reach-in foul against the Sun Devils. This one called on Vitaly Scheibel, his second. Let me ask you about this Arizona State team, Corey. Again, they began the year 12-0, 4-6 in conference play. They added a couple players to the mix in terms of into the rotation as the season went along. Mickey Mitchell became eligible after having to sit out the fall semester, the transfer from Ohio State. And then Kamani Lawrence getting healthy as Trey Holder puts ASU up double figures. But can the chemistry get upset when you add two? They're key players, and there's no question Arizona State is better having those two players available. But does it mess up the chemistry?
A little bit, because you're starting to win a certain way, and then now you have two more guys that are quality guys that deserve touches. And yet, what do you do with the ball? How do we get them involved? It can change the dynamic of a team.
Carter Skaggs hits his second three. Cougs have made 7 in the ball game. And again, they're one of the best three-point shooting teams in America, making 11.5 a game as Cody Justice upset with himself after a pass sailed over the head of Romello White. Here's some of the notable wins for Arizona State. Xavier was on a neutral floor in Las Vegas. They won at Fogg Allen Fieldhouse against Kansas. Beat Kansas State and St. John's on neutral floors.
And those wins are the reasons that they're still ranked, still considered a tournament team.
Malachi Flynn and one for Wazoo.
About time for him to start churning it up for the Cougars. We know he's special, but here you see no ball screen, just turns the corner in traffic. Great acrobatic move as Flynn will get 1 plus the bonus.
First foul on Trey Holder. And 1 for Flynn. 81% foul shooter, back in the starting lineup today after coming off the bench for the first time in his Washington State career Wednesday here against Arizona. So now he started 52 of his 53 career games in a Washington State uniform. 5-point lead for the Sun Devils. And a foul on the drive on Carter Skaggs of Washington State. Arizona State by 5 in desperate need of a road win. The Cougs trying to get back into the win column against number 25. By 5 in Pullman on this Super Bowl Sunday. We found an Eagles fan and a Patriot. That's a Bledsoe jersey. He's a Coug. All right, it is Super Bowl Sunday. Corey, prediction time. Who you got?
My system tells me it's the year of the underdog. Huskies win big over Arizona. Dogs, underdog, Nick Foles. That means Eagles win.
You're just going with your Arizona guy. I get it. No, I got to go New England.
Hey, well, you know, I think that's definitely the odds-on favorite, but Nick Foles is a special guy, and it's a special story.
We know who the refs root for, right?
Who's that?
The Patriots.
Absolutely. Well,
just kidding.
Oh, Patriot Nation will be on your Twitter shortly. But it is true, I mean. We really don't hope it comes down to a questionable call that goes the way of Bill Belichick. It's going to be a great game, I'm sure.
Here's Mickey Mitchell, missing a 3. Out to midcourt, into the backcourt, run down by Shannon Evans, and they call an over and back violation. Bobby Hurley's claiming the ball was tipped. Mike Reed and Mike Cyphers will confer here to make sure they have this one correct. And it is an over and back violation. Arizona State with a turnover.
Credit Ernie Kent for being on top of that call. Here's the heave back to the backcourt. A Sun Devil player right there touches it. He can't get control, and Ernie Kent.
And good officiating. They were right on top of it and got the call correct. Malachi Flynn, watched by the freshman Remy Martin. Kept alive by Flynn, then a reach in on Shannon Evans, his first. Inside 10 to shoot. Deontay Daniels for Bernstein, broken up. Shannon Evans races up the floor. Evans attacks. With contact, will go to the line, and it's on Malachi Flynn, his second.
Another costly turnover there by the Cougars as they're trying to work to cut into this lead. Arizona State cranking up the tempo.
Evans 2 for 2 at the line. 15 points to lead Arizona State. Transfer from Buffalo. Big Monday matchup is a Sonic blockbuster tomorrow night. Number 15 West Virginia battles freshman sensation Trae Young. The 12th ranked Oklahoma. The Big 12 matchup tips at 9 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. If you're on the go, Big Monday is presented by Joseph A. Bank. Cody Justice comes back. So Young is averaging over 30 points per game. Corey, do you know who the last major conference player to average over 30 points per game for the season is?
I do not, but I'm sure you'll tell me.
It's your era.
30 points a game in my era,
yes.
92 to 96. I'm drawing
Malachi Flynn. That's not the answer, but he hits a 3. The big dog, Glenn Robinson. Trey Holder, a strong finish. To the big dog, Glenn Robinson from Purdue.
Makes a lot of sense. He was an absolute scoring machine. Could shoot the ball, attack, post up.
And the number 1 pick in the NBA draft as Flynn misses an easy lay-in.
Had the chance to match up with him head-to-head in Chicago Summer League. It did not go well for me.
Didn't go up well for you against the big dog. He ate your lunch.
Big dog was a sight.
Romello White, the throwdown spike.
Right now, the Sun Devils have spaced them out, and they're picking them apart with rolls to the basket. No rotation by Washington State. They've got to play better defensively.
And Arizona State has been a really good second half team. The Devils average almost 45 points per second half this season. Open 3 for Flynn. Rattles it home.
That's a good answer. Washington State not going away, keeping it within striking distance. We talked about this.
11 of the 14 for Flynn in the second half. A steal for Malachi Flynn. Flynn to the basket. Cougs have made it a one-possession game.
I like the trust Bobby Hurley is showing his team. They take a run, he doesn't burn a timeout, lets his guys play through it.
Flynn has scored the last 11 for Washington State. Romello White again flies to the hoop.
And all of this is because Robert Franks has 3 fouls. He refuses to rotate over, does not want to pick up a 4th.
Rick Bernstein on the drive. Gets inside, can't finish. Rebound Romello White. Mickey Mitchell on the push. Mickey 2 shoes. He's got the red, or he's got the black shoe and the white shoe. The steal by Rick Bernstein. Took it back for the Cougars. Deontay Daniels fouled by Mickey Mitchell.
Right here, you see the defensive breakdown, the ball screen. Look at the weak side defenders. They're supposed to step over and pick up White on this roll. And Robert Franks and everybody's just watching as he takes flight for the easy 2.
Is Robert Franks yelling, he's yours, he's yours?
That's your man.
They couldn't get over there?
We call that sky cap defense. When you stand around and watch other people take off.
Except Robert Franks didn't get a tip.
No tip. And that's the problem with playing with foul trouble. It does take away from your natural reactions. You want to get over there and make a play, but 12 minutes remaining in this game, they're going to need Franks on the floor.
Again, a 3-point game. 15 for Deontay Daniels. Knocked away by Frank. Flynn can't save it. Stays with Arizona State, but a tight one here in Pullman is Romello White. a point of emphasis for Arizona State today.
Great balance we talked about by the Sun Devils. Romello White having a monster game. The pick, the roll, and the finish.
Look around the college basketball landscape, and St. John's, who Arizona State beat earlier this season, stuns Duke yesterday at the Garden. And Oklahoma State got a win at Kansas, also where Arizona State won this season. Purdue, the longest active winning streak in the country at 20. St. Mary's right on their heels. And Villanova winning earlier today against Seton Hall. So another Eagles fan. So yeah, they're well represented out west. Maybe they're like Nick Foles like you.
I just think it's the year of the underdog. You see the upsets in college basketball. This year's tournament promises to be outstanding yet again. We're in the Pac-12 conference where there's a log jam and not a lot of separation between a lot of teams.
Carter Skaggs ties the game. Third three for Skaggs, 10 for Washington State.
What else could the Sun Devils do? They rotated perfectly. Skaggs is just a great shooter, even with a hand in his face.
Cody Justice from deep. Way off. Robert Franks fouled by Holder.
What is not a good shot for some players is an okay shot for Skaggs. There's the defenders there. Justice right in his face. But Skaggs with just better offense. And they're loving it on the bench.
Tied at 59, 11 minutes remaining in Pullman. A game that Arizona State can't afford to slip up. Even though it's on the road in conference play. Romello White, the follow off a Shannon Evans miss.
The monster game continues for Romello White. He started strong, making a killing in the paint. Sun Devils, the vast majority of their points here in the second half have all been in the paint.
17 points, 7 boards for the redshirt freshman. ASU reclaims the lead. Robert Franks missing from deep. Kept alive by Drick Bernstein. Deontay Daniels open, Washington State with the lead.
The man of the night, Deontay Daniels, has been torching the Sun Devils from downtown. And the hits just keep coming for that young man.
Deontay Daniels is tied at career high with 18. 4 ties, 5 lead changes now. Cougs by 1. Evans missing. Daniels the rebound. Skaggs from deep. Carter Skaggs falling down. 4 threes for Carter Skaggs.
Right here, you're going to see a nice ball screen, little dribble handoff, and just hesitate for 1 second, and Skaggs makes you pay from downtown. That's a big-time shot. You call switch, you got to be right up on him, especially since he hit his last one. You don't want to give a guy an open look in his own gym. Skaggs is on fire, and the Cougs are right back on top.
14th game this season where Washington State has made at least 12 threes in a game. They're 6 of 10 outside the arc in the second half. And this is one of the best teams in the country in making threes as they nail 11.5 per game. And the three-point shot has them up 4. Looking for an upset at number 25, Arizona State. This team already has set a season record for threes made as they surpassed the single-season mark against Arizona Wednesday night. Cody Justice a turnover.
Set play for Cody Justice. He was supposed to shoot the 3. He decided to curl and bring it to the lane and turned it over. Got to have that confidence. Go ahead and shoot that ball.
This Washington State team is going to obliterate the single-season record because we're only in early February. And the Cougars with 12 today have already this season have made 253 threes. The previous best was 240 in 2010-2011, and a team led by Klay Thompson. Carter Skaggs missing that look, and it's Romello White clearing for ASU.
Little heat check right there for Skaggs. He'd made a couple, might not go back to him.
Nice pass to Romello White. Beautiful feed from Trey Holder.
That very well could have been an and one. A lot of contact on that dunk.
Holder fifth in Arizona State history in assists, just adding to his total. And a travel on Drick Bernstein.
Right here you see just a little penetration, and once again the big man slips, but Bernstein over the back, no call, but Trey Holder, a magician with the ball, setting up the big fella.
Inside to Romello White. Knocked away, Drick Bernstein to steal. 3-on-1, Beyonce Daniels to Robert Franks, the finger roll.
Wow, what a big time play. Drick Bernstein picks the pocket out front of a point guard and gets the Cougs out on a break.
First, second half points for Robert Franks. Mickey Mitchell, a strong take. Franks from deep. And the rebound, there's Remy Martin flying through the air with the hair flopping for the Sun Devils. Shannon Evans for the lead. Arizona State goes back on top.
Boy, they are so tough. As long as they have that outside shot, they are always in the game. Shannon Evans thought about it, decided not to. Then he said, you know what, the heck.
His ninth 20-point game this season. Malachi Flynn on the drive, and an illegal screen, no, a push, is called on Romello White as he shoved Bernstein into Remy Martin.
Pick and roll, supposed to be a mismatch, but when you got a big man like that with the steal, Cougars get out and run. But at the other end, the Sun Devils, ice cold Shannon Evans from downtown.
Tight one in Pullman, a 1-point lead. The number 25 Arizona State is clinging to, as both teams up over 50% shooting in this game. And Beyonce Daniels for Washington State is tied at career high with 18 points.
A big time night for Beyonce Daniels. 18, 5, and 3 and 25 minutes in the court. He has been the hero for the Cougars, knocking down shots, and they keep going to him, and he keeps delivering.
Third time this season he has scored 18 in a game. He put up 18 both against UTEP and Colorado. So he is tied a career high here in this game with ASU. Malachi Flynn gets inside to the basket as Washington State seesaws on top.
And that's what he does. He uses the ball screen. As soon as you switch, he knows he's faster than most centers and power forwards. He's going to take them right to the rim.
15 of his 18 since halftime. Nice pass by Shannon Evans to Romello White.
He is dominating this game. Shannon Evans is doing whatever he wants, when he wants. Right there, you see him penetrate. The easy two.
Romello White now with 21, his third 20-point game of the year as Remy Martin off to the races. First points for the freshman, and it gives number 25 ASU a 3-point lead.
Remy Martin been kind of quiet this afternoon. He's a player that scores in bunches for the Sun Devils as well.
10 to shoot. Robert Franks leans in, gets his own miss. Foul on Romello White.
The way you play on the road is you attack the rim, shoot the high percentage shot. There you see the point blank slam dunk. And right here, it's just getting your pocket picked out front. Remy Martin with the theft and the layup. 2 easy buckets right there for the Sun Devils to get back out in front.
And a technical has been called on Romello White for taunting an unsportsmanlike conduct technical after the foul. The personal foul was the 3rd on White, and now the technical becomes the 4th. So with 5:53 to play, Romello White with 4 fouls. Two shots for the technical, then 2 more free throws for the personal foul.
I guess it's the first time it's happened tonight.
Franks hits both of the technical free throws. This is what White did to get it. Right there. Trash talking to the opponent.
Right there, you got to be mindful of where the officials are. Definitely trying to clean up the game, keep it from getting chippy.
And it's been a point of emphasis from the officiating is to clean that stuff up. And one more from Franks, and he could give Washington State the lead again.
We could be looking at a serious momentum change here with 5:53 to go.
Tie game, 5:50 left. 3 out of 4 for Franks at the line.
4 fouls on the best inside player for the Sun Devils. Can he manage to finish the game?
And a reach in, and it's on Flynn.
You can see the strategy from Ernie Kent and the Cougars. Any ball screens involving Holder or Evans, they are hedging and double teaming and forcing them to get rid of the ball. Right there, Holder traveled into the crowd and almost lost it.
Trey Holder turns the corner, draws a foul. Just the 15th foul in Washington State. 3rd on Drick Bernstein.
And there you see Trey Holder being aggressive. He knows he's going to get that double team, and he knows to attack the big man and try to draw the foul.
Remy Martin, a quick dart to the hoop. ASU goes back on top. Knocked away, Remy Martin to steal. Remy Martin off to the races. The steal and bucket for the freshman. One of the top 6 men in the country.
And Remy Martin is out front taking all kinds of gambles, and they're paying off for the Sun Devils. That's the 2nd time he's had a rip in the open court.
Malachi Flynn to the basket. And a pretty finish.
Well, payback right there. Malachi Flynn upset with himself for losing the ball.
2-point game, 4:20 left. Deep 3, Shannon Evans for Arizona State. 23 for Shannon Evans, 5 threes. Malachi Flynn splits a double team. Trey Holder picks it off. Holder the reverse, and 1 fouled by Drick Bernstein.
2 big back-to-back plays for the Sun Devils. You had the steal, and right there, another turnover that leads to open court buckets. Arizona State getting it done on the defensive end in the passing lane and finishing. Trey Holder will have a chance at 3 the hard way.
Monday, it's Press Virginia against the Super Frosh.
We're being treated to an epic season by Trae Young.
This is a blockbuster-sized rematch. West Virginia, Oklahoma, Monday at 9 on ESPN.
81-74. Arizona State has made their last 9 shots from the field. They've opened up a 7-point lead in this tight game in Pullman. And turnovers a huge problem for Washington State in this game, and they've led to easy transition buckets for the Devils.
That 7-0 run was pretty much handed to them, but credit Arizona State being aggressive, jumping the passes, going in, trying to get steals. They have not shied away in the last few possessions. They've gone ahead and cranked up the defensive intensity, and they've forced the Cougars into some very bad plays.
Trey Holder for the and one free throw. Strong second half again for Arizona State, which has been their pattern this year. Leading at the half for only the 3rd time in conference play. They led by 2 at the break. They're now up 8. They've led by as many as 11. Carter Skaggs sets up. Too strong, and the rebound, Romello White, who is 10 of 11 from the floor. White, 21 points, now 8 rebounds, but playing with 4 fouls. Shot clock at 10 for Shannon Evans. Shannon Evans. Blocked by Robert Franks, 5 to shoot, out of bounds, ASU.
Big time play by, right there by Robert Franks. He has the 3 fouls, but was still able to time it. 5 seconds to go. Cougars need to defend.
Remy Martin missing from the corner. And the Cougars clear it. Here comes Robert Franks as Arizona State going with the 4 guards and Romello White here. Essentially with Cody Justice playing the 4. If that's the case, there's going to be a mismatch somewhere, and Justice guarding Robert Franks.
Right, Cody Justice trying to guard Robert Franks. Just a question of whether Franks wants to take him into the basket as you see another turnover.
And Trey Holder, the steal, an easy bucket. 10 points, Sun Devils lead. 3 Devils have at least 20 today. 23 for Shannon Evans, 21 for Romello White, and now Trey Holder with 20. Malachi Flynn, long 3. And there's Cody Justice clearing.
And you get the sense right now that those turnovers have taken a lot of the wind out of the sails of the Cougars. They just look a little bit demoralized right now. They've had possessions to go toe-to-toe down the stretch, but they've been coughing the ball up.
And it's been an ongoing issue for Ernie Kent's young team this season. 18 turnovers today. ASU 73% for the field in the second half. Out of bounds to Washington State with 2:02 to go. The Cougs have made 12 threes, but they haven't made one in a long time. And they need to make a bunch here down the stretch.
They need to score with the clock stopped. Try to set some type of pressure over the next 2 minutes on every dead ball. They need to press.
Carter Skaggs off the dribble. And the pull-up. Timeout Washington State. That's not necessarily Skaggs' game, but Ernie Kent will take it.
They forced him to it. Skaggs made a nice move on the baseline, and now the Cougars get to take a timeout, try to set up some pressure to create turnovers of their own. They've got the ability to shoot the 3, so if they can get the ball, then they definitely got a puncher's chance.
For the Sun Devils, it's been the defense leading to the offense. 10 steals for ASU in the game.
Outstanding defense by ASU down the stretch, just taking some gambles, diving in, making sure they stay aggressive. Right here, Remy Martin just taking things into his own hands. Got the Sun Devils some breathing room here in the second half. Trey Holder follows suit with a steal of his own. And these plays have been the difference. These are possessions where Washington State did not even get a shot because they coughed it up.
This game was tied 72-all with 5:53 remaining. And now it's Arizona State by 8 with 1:44 to go. And the Cougars have not made a 3 in the last 8 minutes.
We talked about Arizona State's concerns about finishing basketball games. And today they seem to put themselves in a pretty good position down the stretch here. And it was the defense that did it.
Step back, rattles out from Trey Holder. Rick Bernstein the rebound. Malachi Flynn, challenge three. And Romello White elevates for the rebound, his ninth. What point do you start fouling if you're Washington State?
I think you got to take some chances now. You make that three and it's a 5-point game, you play it out. But right now, down 8.
Remy Martin draws the foul. It's on Skaggs, his second. And it's not a shooting foul. It's a 1-and-1, the 17th foul. So it was before the shot. And Remy Martin, the 77% free throw shooter, the freshman, for a 1-and-1. One more coming. After NFL primetime tonight on ESPN SportsCenter, live from Minneapolis with Greeny and Levy. They'll have post-game coverage of Super Bowl 52, reports from both locker rooms, in-depth analysis from Louis Riddick and Ryan Clark. What's next for the Brady Belichick era in New England? And Nick Foles' future in Philly. All this, everything else from your Sports Sunday, SportsCenter, 11:30 Eastern from Minneapolis on ESPN. Malachi Flynn, a block and one. No, wave it off. It was before the shot. As Remy Martin called for his third. And it's a 1-and-1.
Malachi Flynn trying to be aggressive. Spins back in. Remy Martin tries to flop and get the call. The official's not buying it.
But the question is, was it a shooting foul or not? They said it was before the shot. One more for Flynn. Now the full court pressure. Remy Martin breaks it. Looking to attack, even though they're up 8, and Remy Martin putting the pedal to the metal, going right to the basket, and a foul against Washington State.
Well, he's been sensational this season and definitely this afternoon. He's a freshman, Rocks. He only has one speed. He plays 100 miles an hour, gives you everything he has, and he made some key plays in this second half that really elevated the Sun Devils.
No more Rick Bernstein today. He is fouled out, which breaks my heart. 46.5 seconds to go. Remy Martin will go to the line. Arizona State 10 for 11 from the line. Bernstein fouls out with 2 points. Strong second half for Remy Martin. All 9 of his points since halftime. Now 10.
And also for Remy Martin, a great job defensively out front on Malachi Flynn, getting those turnovers, creating those steals.
Flynn almost turned it over. Deontay Daniels. And the rebound to Arizona State. Remy Martin races into the front court. Arinze Cheatham is in for Washington State, the redshirt freshman from Oakland. And Washington State will not foul. Arizona State was challenged by the Cougars today. Tied game with just under 6 minutes to go until Arizona State pulled away in a much-needed win for number 25, ASU.
Much needed indeed. They bent, but they did not break as the Sun Devils found all kinds of offense coming from their defense. It wasn't the great three-point shooting that did it for them. They sat down and played great D in the second half.
1 second remaining after a shot clock violation and a turnover. And Washington State will put the ball in play, and that will take care of it. But Arizona State, one of the highest scoring teams in the country, puts up 88 in a 10-point win in the Palouse. Get a much-needed road split against the Washington Schools and win number 17 for Bobby Hurley.
Great job by the Sun Devils this afternoon against a scrappy Cougars team. They needed this win to kind of right the ship, and they got it.
3 Arizona State players with 20 or more in this road victory. More to come from Pullman straight ahead. Arizona State gets a win over Washington State by 10. for number 25, Arizona State, pulling away from Washington State as the Devils shot 70% from the floor in the second half.
Arizona State went inside all game long, and it paid big dividends. They still had the balanced attack from the threes and the outside. Great game by Arizona State to withstand the storm and get the W.
And they'll host USC on Thursday night, but Arizona State now 17-6, 5-6 in the Pac-12 as they get the road victory in the Palouse. For my partner, Corey Williams, and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein saying so long for the Palouse. Studio coming up after the break, after Pac-12 hoops from Pullman.